Hello everyone, my name is Evan. Today I am going to be posting my first video on my new YouTube channel called Sword Statistics. So I'm going to be playing a little bit of Stardew Valley in the back throughout this talk through. But mainly I just want to talk about what I'm trying to do, what I want to do. Sorry for adjusting with my sounds here. What I want to do with this channel and my goals, and maybe even give a couple opinions through some different stuff today. So, I have had YouTube channels in the past. I've had about 4 YouTube channels with different friends when I was definitely a lot younger. None of them worked. I've always liked doing these types of videos, and I always liked posting on YouTube. I was just never able to fully stay committed and be that guy that can just say, hey, I'm going to start a YouTube channel and dedicate that amount of time. And whether that just be my family or my lifestyle, I've just never been able to do that. And I understand that with this, I might do the exact same thing, but I am hoping that I can take this channel further than I have any of the others, and that I can make myself stay with it a lot longer. And one main goal I have for this channel is obviously grow, but I just want to provide content people like, and make content I enjoy making. So I'm a guy that loves to spread his opinion, and I do have a lot of opinion on things. And everything I talk on this channel will mainly be opinion. And as many of you know, opinions can be different. So if I say something that pisses you off or you don't agree with, I understand that. You can leave a comment, you can say something. Just understand this is what I think, and I mean, I'm not going to change my views just because some person said, oh, this is because of this. But so, one thing I want to hope doing in this channel is every Monday or Tuesday, talk about what happened in the NFL throughout the games, kind of like analyze what happened, and just be able to provide my thoughts on what I think's happening in the NFL, and I might even talk about some other sports too. So, as you know, this week, Joe Burrow, the rookie quarterback out of LSU for the Bengals, had a major injury. He actually tore his ACL. It was just released that it was an ACL tear. Feel really bad for the guy. He was carrying the Bengals. I mean, he was what they needed. And it's just very sad and heartbreaking to add yet another major injury to this season of the NFL. It's been quite the injury-plagued season, as many of you know. Just one of those things that it's never good to hear about a rookie that gets injured. And Joe Burrow, I believe, was an sensational quarterback, and I think he had tons of room. And I think his rookie year's just been brought to an end way too soon. I'm very sad to hear about that. Other rookie quarterbacks, right? So we got Tua playing for the Dolphins. He just came in. I'm excited to see where Tua's going. He's doing great, I think, under the circumstances he's been put on. I think the Dolphins head coach has put him in a situation that's amazing. I think the Dolphins head coach deserves Coach of the Year in all reality. And I believe Tua is going to be able to take the Dolphins to where they want to go, you know? Just for the fact that he's a pretty good quarterback. He showed that at the Sooners, right? I think he was a Sooner. I'm not too sure on that. I'm sorry. But he's doing good. And then another great rookie quarterback that I don't think anyone expected to come out and do this good was Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert has been playing his mind out this season for the Chargers. I believe he is the rookie of the year. I think, and like I said in the beginning of this video, everything I say is solely opinion based. I think Justin Herbert is going to be your rookie of the year. I believe that very firmly. I think just the way he's playing for the Chargers. I mean, there's clips of him making plays some veteran NFL quarterbacks can't even make. I mean, he's just out there playing his mind off, and I believe he really impressed everyone on how well he did, um, and is just like I said, doing great, and I think deserves Rookie of the Year. Um, and then if you want to talk about, the team he has around him, he has some pretty good teammates. He's got Keenan Allen, Higbee as receiving threats. Now mind me, I'm not a big Charger guy, so I'm not really sure who exactly. But I know he's had some pretty decent teammates around him. He has Austin Eckler, who I believe got injured in week 4 or 5. Another sad injury that he probably won't come back for. But I just think the way Justin Herbert is showing off and is able to read the defense and just do exactly what he needs to do, I think he is their franchise quarterback there. Sad to see Tyrod go after a punctured lung. Somehow the team trainer just punctured his lung. Not sure how that happened, but however it may have happened. And I think he's just doing really great. Not to keep on this subject, but I believe he is a pretty good quarterback and definitely has a lot of potential. On the subject of quarterbacks, MVP race, right? We have a lot of different subjects for the MVP race. Everyone thought, and I was a believer too, that Russell Wilson was going to get MVP. And then he went out there and didn't really have that great of a game. Had a pretty terrible game. And most people think that put him out of the MVP race. Me personally, I've always been a big Russell Wilson fan. I've always liked the Seahawks. They're definitely not my favorite team, but I've always liked them, didn't mind them. I think Russ is cooking. And I think Pete Carroll started to let Russ cook and just was able to just do so much on that Seahawks offense. And even after that one game where I believe he had 3 or 4 turnovers, I still think he's a possible candidate for the MVP race. It's hard to say at this point. People are stating Josh Allen. I'm a Bills fan personally. I've always liked the Bills. Josh Allen's always been my guy. I went to University of Wyoming. Always my guy right there. I think Josh Allen's making a case for the MVP race. I don't think he's going to get it, just for the fact he's still pretty young, and he still has a lot to improve on. But I definitely think Josh Allen is your future MVP of 1 year, maybe next year, 2 or 3 years down the road. I think Josh Allen has a chance of becoming MVP. It's just hard to say right now. Obviously, fan favorite, Patty Mahomes, man. Absolutely had a killer game against the Raiders this weekend. That last touchdown to Travis Kelce, beautiful throw, beautiful getting open by Kelce. I mean, it was just one of those plays you could tell they were on the exact same level. They knew exactly what each other was doing, and just so happened to work out. Sad to see the Raiders lose. The Raiders are having a good season. But just the way Patty has been playing, I think he's making a case for MVP. Other possible MVPs, people are saying Dalvin Cook could be your MVP. He is doing really well on that Vikings offense. I think he's carrying that Vikings offense a little bit. He's putting a good amount of weight of the offense on his shoulders. I don't know. It all depends. It's week 12, I believe, week 12 or 13. It's hard to say who you think's going to be MVP right now when there's still so much. There's playoffs. I mean, hell, even Big Ben might. You could argue Big Ben's making a case for MVP. Carrying the Steelers 10-0. They're doing pretty good. I am one of those believers that they've had a rather relatively easy schedule. I mean, it's obviously not that easy, but they've had a relatively easy schedule. But I believe that Steelers team rock solid, rock solid defense. I think Big Ben is making a decent case for an MVP. I haven't heard anyone bring up his name, but I think he possibly could be an MVP candidate. Um, Last year's MVP, Lamar Jackson, absolutely balled out last year. Um, Not sure. He's not really doing too great this year. He's not having a terrible year, but something's up. Something's up with that Ravens team. They're not playing like they were last year. Just had a devastating loss in overtime against the Titans. Um, and Derrick Henry from the Titans. You can also argue Derrick Henry is making an MVP case, and I think Derrick Henry is. Derrick Henry is an absolute monster, and you can argue he's making an MVP race, or a MVP statement that he wants to be MVP, and I think someone could give it to him. It just all depends on how they play throughout the rest of the season, obviously, and how well they do, and if they can make it to the playoffs, they can make big plays, and it all depends, man. It all depends. But I believe those are some of the MVP candidates, and I think all of them are solid, all solid candidates for the MVP race. And it's gonna be a hard one to tell this year. There's a lot of good players in the league right now. There's a lot of superstars, as Madden would call it, just a ton. We're gonna skip that. Sorry if anyone wanted to watch that. I have played Stardew Valley before, so I'm kind of just skipping through things and running through. I'm just trying to talk. But like I was saying, ton of talent in the NFL right now. I mean, just everywhere across the board. Receivers, running backs, defenses, quarterbacks. I mean, there's just talent everywhere, man. And I think a lot of that's from this draft class last year. I think there's a lot of rookies that are really performing a lot better than anyone thought they were. And personally, I think a lot of the rookies are performing a lot better than I believe they were. But it's just one of those things, I have a thing here saying a text from one of my friends, actually. I have a friend group that's pretty into football and sports, and they're always discussing their top 5 receivers in the league right now. I don't know if I could give my top 5 currently, but I believe probably the best receiver in the league right now, my opinion. It's either DeAndre or I missed that. Either DeAndre or Devontae. I think one of those two is definitely 1 and 2. I think DeAndre is just one of that generational talent or receiver and can catch almost anything that is thrown up to me. If any of you all watched the Bills game, I mean, just a crazy athletic play. I mean, just phenomenal that he caught it over 3 defenders. That's just insane, man. Devontae Adams, absolutely routing people up. I think Devontae has some of the crispest routes in the league, and I think I'd put them 1-2. I would put DeAndre over Devontae right now. Just for the fact that I think DeAndre is more of the generational talent that you'd need. Number 3, that's a hard one. I don't even know, man. There's so many good receivers in the league right now. You got DK. He's balling out. He's having a season. You obviously have Julio Jones, fan favorite. Larry Fitz. He's doing good. Stephon Diggs. I think Stephon's having the season of his life. And I think he's a really great fit in the Bills franchise. And I think I think I'd probably have to put Stephon at 3. he's been the league's uh, top receiver for past weeks. I mean, he's always been in that top 5 leading receivers, and him and Josh Allen's chemistry, and he's fitting perfectly on the Bills. And I think he's definitely a lot better than he was on the Vikings. Just the way he's being used. I think Adam Thielen might be a top 5. He's had some insane catches. 2 one-handers, 2 one-handed touchdowns 2 weeks in a row. I think that's just crazy. I think he'd probably go 4. I don't know, man. I would probably put I'd probably put Julio at 5 and DK at 6. The only reason I put Julio above DK is, I mean, DK's the man, you know? Absolute beast out there. Huge, tall, he can catch almost anything. He's faster than he should be. He's just burning and routing up defenders. But I don't think he's fully matured yet. And I mean, granted, this is his second, I believe, his second or third year. But he's doing really good for his second or third year, but I just don't think he's had that time. I don't want to do that time and experience that everyone else above him has had. And he hasn't had that many drops, but you always got to bring up the factor of drops when you're talking about top 5 receivers. DK has had a couple crucial drops. He doesn't drop much, but he's had a couple crucial drops that have, in my mind, cost him that top 5 spot. And he's one of those receivers that has just started to get double teamed. He's just being double teamed. Hasn't really experienced that much before in the NFL. And I think in a year, when he gets used to these double teams, I think he's gonna fight through them. And he's just that kind of athlete, that freak athlete that can just ignore double teams, if you want to phrase it that way, and just fight through all this contact and just be a phenomenal generational receiver. And he has that talent and potential. And that's where I sit with DK Metcalf. I know a lot of people are big fans of DK. I'm a pretty big fan of DK. I just think right now he has a little bit to improve on. I think he's definitely a top 10. I'd probably put him at 6 or 7 in my receivers currently in the league. But I believe DK's an absolute monster out there. You know, and it's just one of those things. That's all opinion based, and if you're a Seahawks fan or you hate the Seahawks, that all depends on what your thought on DK is. But he's a good receiver, plain and simple. But I believe I'm going to end my first video here. I hope you all enjoyed listening to me ramble on. I hope in the future to not only do analysis or opinion type videos such as this, but I also hope to get into some gaming, film breakdown. I just want to get into quite the expansive realm of videos. I might even bring some of my friends on and talk through them. It all depends. I'd love to see support, like every YouTuber rambles on. I'd like to see how many viewers I could get and likes, and just see how well this did and what everyone wants to see, you know. And at this small stage, it's what you guys want to see. So if you want to drop in the comments what you want me to do, I'll look at that. I'll definitely think about it and probably will. So I want to thank you all for taking the time and listening to me. I also want to hope you have a wonderful day, wonderful rest of your day, and just be happy, man. That's one of those things. Just keep going through life. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see y'all later and hope to hear from y'all later. Have a good day. I'll see you guys later.